A terrible plague, the Black Death. Let's go back in time to the 1300s. This is the story of a terrible sickness called the Black Death. It changed the world in many ways and affected the lives of millions. Our story starts in 1346 in a city called Kaffa, a busy port on the Black Sea, controlled by people from Genoa, Italy. It was an important place for trade, including the sad trade of slaves. Merchants from all over came here to buy and sell goods. But the Khan, leader of the Golden Horde, was angry because the Genoese traded slaves from his people. People from Venice, another Italian city, wanted control of Kaffa and made a deal with the new Khan, Yani Beg. Yani Beg told the Genoese to leave, but they refused. So he sent his army to attack the city. The siege lasted for a long time. But the army had a terrible problem. Many soldiers were sick with a disease from Asia. It made their skin dark, caused fever and pain, and killed them in a few days. A man from that time wrote that Yani Beg ordered his soldiers to throw the dead, sick bodies into Kaffa using catapults. This may have been one of the first examples of biological warfare in history. Soon, the sickness spread inside Kaffa. In 1347, the survivors escaped on ships, trying to save their lives. These ships were full of sick or dying people. Dead bodies were thrown into the sea during the journey, and fear filled the air. These ships sailed to different ports, like Constantinople, Alexandria in Egypt, and Messina in Italy. When they arrived, the people in these cities were afraid of the sickness and didn't let the ships land. But something small and hidden on the ships did get to land. These were probably fleas and rats carrying the sickness. They got off the ships and went into the cities, bringing the disease with them. Later called the Black Death, the sickness spread very quickly. From the ports, it went to France, Italy, Greece, the Balkans, Egypt, and Spain. In 1 year, it reached much of Europe. In less than 3 years, it was almost everywhere in Europe and North Africa. Only places like Iceland and parts of Scandinavia were mostly safe. Some experts today think the Black Death started in more than one place, not just Kaffa. Maybe some started on the coast and came by sea. Others might have come with people traveling on the trading routes from China and India across Asia to the Mediterranean Sea. Other past diseases were bad, but none spread so fast or killed so many as the Black Death. It was a global disaster. Why did it spread so fast? It was easy to catch. Also, Europe was in a cold time like a mini ice age. Food was hard to grow, and many people were weak and unhealthy. Some people were already starving before the plague arrived. Cities were not clean. Streets were small and dirty. People lived close together, and there were many rats. This helped the sickness spread. Trading between big cities also helped the sickness travel far and wide. From the cities, it spread to smaller towns. When the sickness came to a town, healthy people ran to the countryside. But they often carried the sickness without knowing. Few places were truly safe. Religious journeys and wars also helped the disease spread. What happened to sick people? They got black swellings on the body called buboes under the arms, neck, or legs. They had fever, pain, and confusion. Sometimes the sickness went to the lungs, causing chest pain, breathing problems, and coughing up blood. People were very weak and could not walk or eat. Sadly, many died within a week. It was very rare to survive once you had strong symptoms. The Black Death affected the rich and the poor. Some rich people escaped to the countryside, like the Pope did. But most families could not escape. Whole families died. Cities didn't know what to do with so many dead bodies. The carts full of bodies and mass graves became common. People were very afraid. Some stories say children were buried alive because people feared they were sick. Families sometimes left sick members alone. Some people even stole from the sick and dead. Many cities lost half their people. In Florence, Siena, and San Gimignano, from 50 to 60% died. London lost one-third to half. Paris buried maybe 800 people a day at the worst time. Spain and Portugal's population went from 6 million to 2.5 million. In Europe, between 25 and 30 million people died in the first wave. It took about 200 years to return to the old population. More died in Asia and Africa. Doctors didn't know how to stop it. They used old ideas that didn't work, like letting out blood or using herbs. When those failed, people searched for other reasons. Some blamed the stars or bad air. Many believed it was God's punishment for sins. The Pope asked for prayers, but the sickness continued. Some people joined the flagellants, who whipped themselves in public to show they were sorry. But some caused trouble and were stopped by leaders. Others falsely blamed Jewish people, saying they poisoned wells. This wasn't true. Jewish people were also dying. The Pope said it was false, but in some places there was violence. Many Jewish people were hurt or killed. Others ran away. In Poland, the king protected them. Many doctors died, but some brave ones kept working and wrote what they learned. These writings helped future generations understand disease better. Some experts believe Venice helped control the sickness. After the worst time, Venice made strict rules. Ships and people arriving were checked. They had to stay on islands for 40 days, quarantine. If sick, they went to hospital islands. Other cities copied this system. Better cleaning, quarantine, and less travel helped reduce the sickness. Maybe some people also became stronger against it. The first big wave ended around 1351 to 1353. It came back later but was less strong. It stayed in Europe until the 1700s, especially in port cities. In all its waves, the Black Death may have killed between 75 and 200 million people. It still exists in some places today, but now we have medicine to treat it. The Black Death was a terrible time, but it also caused big changes. So many died that there was a lot of empty land. Some peasants got land. The old system, where farmers worked for lords, became weaker. With fewer workers, peasants asked for more money. The rich didn't like this. It led to protests. Some say this time connects to the stories of Robin Hood. Life slowly improved. Cities grew. With fewer men, more women worked outside the home, and some widows got land or businesses. For hundreds of years, people didn't know what caused it. In 1894, scientists Yersin and Kitasato found the bacteria Yersinia pestis in rats. In 1905, William Liston showed that fleas spread it from rats to humans. People thought it started in China, but in 2022, scientists studied old DNA and found it most likely started in Kyrgyzstan, Central Asia. That was just before it spread across the world and changed history forever. The Black Death is a story of a terrible time, but also of human courage and how the world can change. It reminds us how fragile life is and how much people can survive and learn, even in the darkest times.